How's it going, everyone? It's Derek Lamrew, and today on The Breakdown, we're going to talk about Forest City Fights Back.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song.
Today on The Breakdown, we're going to talk about Forest City Fights Back, a music video that Andrew Stevenson and I were the co-creative directors on. This project was started at the beginning of COVID, so it was really interesting how it all came together. Let's get Andrew in here and we'll start breaking it down for you. Andrew, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going good. Early morning here, but it's a beauty day. This project I describe as super dynamic, multiple layers going on all at the same time, you know, and kind of a different spin, I would say. It was a lot. It was 20 artists, plus we had like all the submitted footage from artists that didn't come into the studio. So it was, 20 plus artists for sure. So logistically it was tough because we had to essentially coordinate every artist back to back where they didn't actually see each other. Like logistically and in that time that they were with us, we had to shoot their performance, we had to shoot their kind of like, cinematic on-cam moment, I guess, and then we did some interview for BTS stuff. So, in like a 25-minute window, we captured so much content.
You're right, we only had half an hour, but because they were recording it live too, it was like every take that we did had to be good. Like we couldn't really mess around too much. So I think, when we look at decisions made beforehand, like we couldn't really shoot this handheld or get super creative because we didn't have like 30 takes to cut from. We had, maybe 4 takes. It's crazy to think that some songs, take days and days to record, but I mean, I'll give credit to Nick, who was the music producer on this. He just knew the sections that once they started singing, he wanted, and then we would kind of focus on that, because I think if we were there spending that time with each artist that we could have in a typical song, we would have needed weeks to do what we did.
How a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion.
Once we had decided that we were gonna do the recording in person, we had that kind of figured out. The other thing that we were kind of tasked with was how do we incorporate other local artists that are gonna submit digitally, celebrities, frontline workers, the sponsors, so everyone else kind of had to be in the video.
You created kind of like a here's what we want sheet, which broke down kind of all the things we want you to potentially do. And then we sent it all out, and I would say 50% of people did what you asked them to do.
Yeah, it was like, here's the ideas that we're thinking that you could do, because we really wanted it to be succinct enough that it wasn't like too far spread. I think the other big thing is, when you're doing a project with mixed media and you have non-acting talent, is you got to give them some direction and keep it simple, right? Like we didn't want them to have to do any elaborate stuff, and we wanted it to stay short and easy, essentially, for anyone that was sending in content. A big thing for anyone watching this would be like, if you have a project that's gonna have multiple layers, whether it's a music video like this or a commercial that has mixed media or multiple people sending things in, developing that folder structure / like hierarchy of things early on is going to save you a ton of time. So let's talk about production just really quickly. I mean, we touched on a couple things. We wanted it to not rely on us to have any errors, so that's kind of why we did the locked off. We did 2 cameras. All the audio was recorded live off the floor, so we had to be pretty quiet and we couldn't move around a ton. We made it feel like a recording studio, but like for those of you that have filmed in a recording studio before, it's not traditionally meant for filming. It's meant for audio. So if we look at the final frame, let me just pull the frame up here. Like there's a lot of things that don't exist in a studio that are in the background here. Like the light on the piano that you put there. I mean, the amp case that's in the left-hand side of the frame. Like everything was kind of played off the symmetry of these windows, and then in the side, in the side shot, there's an amp stack there. Like this whole scene, I think people underestimate the value of set deck, especially when all of your video is going to take place in one spot. You really got to make sure that that's the look.
Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worrying about me. I'm in too deep. Say I'm in too deep. It's been 2 years and I miss my home. If there's a fire burning in my bones, still believe. Yes, I still.
If I were to describe the edit, from an editor's perspective, I would describe it as a nightmare, and I give kudos to Nigel for working through the edit, because it was a lot of footage and a lot of different bits and pieces. Like from an edit perspective, it was a lot to digest. Just from a creative perspective, it was neat because the song, once Nick sent us the final song, it kind of guided us. Without having like a finalized song, it would never been able to happen. He basically selected who went where. Okay, this artist has like a showcase piece here. Well, that has to be there. That has to be the artist. What we cut in over top, we'll decide. But that artist has a showcase in this time, so that's when we cut it in. The guitar solo, that helped guide the edit for sure.
That's an interesting part, because we made that decision on the day of to film that, and I'm glad we did, because it kind of pays tribute to the fact that this song, like, they didn't just use an instrumental track and sing to it. Like, they brought in a guitarist, they brought in a bass player, they brought in a drummer, but like all of the musicians also on the track came in and recorded their part. So to me, when we have that solo at 2:10, I think it pays tribute to them too, and not just all of the artists that were singing on the track.
The whole thing was unique. We had an idea, it was one thing, and by the end it became so different. There was moments throughout the process where I didn't necessarily see the vision anymore, and then I had to storm a little bit, get a little bit, there would be a little tension in my mind, and I'd have to get back on track, right? The vision kept morphing and changing, and every time we hit a roadblock, we found a solution, which then diverted the vision just a bit, right? So it was, that's probably, the most unique part about this, right?
I agree. All right, buddy. Well, thank you for weighing in on the breakdown today, and hopefully we'll do another one soon in the future together.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait, man.
All right.
That's gonna be awesome.
Okay, take it easy, buddy.
My power's turned on, starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody steals my fight song. Take back my life song, prove I'm alright song.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below, and give that subscribe button a little tap. Just tap it. All right, we'll see you next time.
Still got a lot of fight left in me.